British Columbia Institute of Technology acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Welcome back. My name is Sophie Hansen, and these are your afternoon headlines to 1:30. The president of the local union representing handy-dart workers says mediation at the labor board with its employer Transdev closed after 8 p.m. last night. Transdev says it needs several days to consider the union's last proposal. Joe McCann, president of the Amalgamated Transit Union Local 1724, says Transdev informed the union through the mediator that they wouldn't be able to meet and provide a counter-proposal until later this week. Another rally is expected tomorrow outside of the TransLink office in New Westminster. There could be trouble on the horizon for Air Canada passengers as a strike notice or lockout could happen as early as September 15th. Canadian Press reporter Ian Bickus says the airline has described the union's wage demands as, quote, excessive, noting a work stoppage is very likely.
There is, I guess, potential to kind of sweeten the deal the next week. Things are definitely rapidly approaching the strike notice date, which would be September 15th, when either side could give 72 hours notice that they're going to do a labor action.
Air Canada is preparing a contingency plan to suspend flights gradually over the 3 days if a 72-hour strike notice or lockout notice is issued. Now, a judge has sentenced 2 men involved in the 2022 Coutts border blockade to 6.5 years in prison. Last month, a jury found Anthony Olnick and Chris Carbert not guilty of the most serious charge of conspiracy to murder police officers, but they were convicted of public mischief over $5,000 and possessing a firearm dangerous to the public peace. Olnick was also convicted of possession of a pipe bomb. The border blockade was one of several held across Canada to protest COVID-19 restrictions. Now, BC Wildlife Services says crews are responding to a wildfire located about 30 kilometers east of Wells. The fire can be seen from Ghost Lake Road Recreation Site, while no structures or communities are affected by this fire. Authorities are on standby as the fire continues to burn more than 123 hectares in size. Now back to Calgary. Calgary's mayor says every skipped toilet flush over the next few weeks will matter as repairs on the troubled waters main near the finish line. Jyoti Godek says a treatment plan in the city's southwest has been picking up the slack during the water's main outage, and it would be dire if that were to go offline too.
It is a matter of if something breaks at the Glenmore facility and we either have to shut down that facility or we have to shut down a significant portion of the production, we will be immediately plunged into emergency conditions.
Repairs on the Bearspaw South feeder main are expected to be completed as scheduled on September 23rd, with water use restrictions easing 3 days later. In some sad news, John and Matthew Goudreau, brothers and prolific hockey players, are being mourned today at their funeral in Philadelphia. Dozens of buses lined the suburbs as attendees poured into the St. Mary Magdalene Catholic Church in Media, Pennsylvania. The Goudreau brothers died August 29th when they were struck by a suspected drunken driver while riding bicycles in their home state of New Jersey. Countless members of the hockey community from Columbus to South Jersey to Boston College are expected to join family and friends for the funeral. Now, good news from the royal family. The Princess of Wales says she's finished her course of chemotherapy and is now focused on staying cancer-free. The announcement was made public in a video posted online earlier today.
Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus.
She is expected to return to some public duties in the coming months. The Canadian Medical Association has released a new report outlining how more than 6.5 million Canadians are still without primary care physicians. The group says surgical backlogs are still substantial in Canada, while the human health resource shortage is overwhelming. The association president, Joss Remier, says, quote, enchanted accountability is crucial. These have been your afternoon headlines to 1:30.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
Good afternoon. My name is what? My name is who? My name is Nicholas Hauke with your sports update to 140. Starting on the ice, the Professional Women's Hockey League has announced new team names and logos for each team heading into the league's second season. Jacob Fraser on every team's new identity.
The PWHL has revealed 6 new logos and team names for the league's 6 inaugural teams on social media. The new names include the Victoire de Montreal, the Minnesota Frost, the Ottawa Charge, the New York Sirens, the Boston Fleet, and the Toronto Scepters. These new names and logos will be featured on their team's jerseys this upcoming season, after being represented by the PWHL and their city names in the league's first season. Jacob Fraser, BCIT's The Crow.
In heavier news, Columbus Blue Jackets forward Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew are being mourned by family today. Friends and countless members of the hockey community were seen at their funeral in a Philadelphia suburb. Johnny's pregnant widow, Meredith, thanked everyone at the service.
It's your memories, videos, tributes, and kind words that I'm so tightly holding on to one day show our babies how truly special their daddy was and how loved he was.
Johnny, an all-star for the Calgary Flames, as well as the Columbus Blue Jackets, as well as Matthew, who played collegiate hockey in Boston, died on the eve of their sister's wedding when they were struck by a suspected drunken driver while riding bicycles. Moving to the gridiron, NFL Canada is continuing to work on expanding the National Football League's exposure within the country. Lauren Achille on how the organization plans to promote their product.
NFL Canada is expanding their watch party locations to increase the Canadian fan base and connectivity. The huddle gives fans the chance to win NFL swag, take photos with the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and meet some NFL legends. According to NFL Canada, the huddle has expanded to Vancouver to give Canadians the opportunity to enjoy the game the way it's meant to be celebrated, together. So be sure to be on the lookout for local watch parties that will be scattered across the Lower Mainland. A major watch party venue will be at the Village Tap House in West Vancouver. Lauren Achille, BCIT's The Crow.
The NFL is also still looking into the Tyreek Hill incident from his pregame from yesterday. The Miami Dolphins star was handcuffed and placed face down on a street outside the team's stadium after he was stopped for speeding and reckless driving Sunday morning. The incident left the star wide receiver baffled and resulted in a police officer being placed on administrative leave. Some fans saw Hill being handcuffed and captured on video on their way to the game, and it went viral on social media. Hill was told after the game that the officer was placed on leave and said, quote, "That should tell you everything you need to know." Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has signed a brand new contract worth $240 million. The deal makes him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Prescott immediately thanked the organization by taking a break from making it rain dollar bills to making it rain touchdown passes, leading the Cowboys to a 33-17 victory against the Cleveland Browns in the process. In lacrosse news, the National Senior A Championship between the Six Nation Chiefs and the Victoria Shamrocks is faced with controversies over a policy. The policy in question is the 2 pickup player policy, which would allow the Shamrocks to add 2 players from opposing teams to their roster for the finals. This policy has been in place for years, according to the WLA's website. As the Shamrocks were in the air to Toronto, the Lacrosse Canada Board conducted an e-vote revoking the policy previously passed by 10 of 11 member associations, according to a WLA press release. The Shamrocks have filed an appeal and hope to be able to add their 2 pickup players from the New Westminster Salmon Bellies by series end. Moving to baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays open a 3-game series tonight at home against the New York Mets, who are in the thick of the National League wildcard race, competing with the Padres, Diamondbacks, and Braves. The Jays are coming off a series loss to Atlanta over the weekend. Right-hander Paul Blackburn is set to start for the Mets, while Toronto has yet to announce its starting pitcher. Those were your sports updates to 140. I'm Nicholas Hauke, and you're listening to BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.